All right, Shalom Akim. Um, First and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Wahab Rakah Kwadash, and double honors to the Apostle Elders, a great millstone, and salutations to you Akim out there laboring in the faith and doing this work in truth and sincerity. And I got a clip I'm about to go into from our last cap session. You know, just going into, pretty much that the Holy Bible, which is our book that was made and manifested only for the Israelites, is only the real book of prophecy in existence. Not the Quran, not the Book of Morons, not any other religious book, that's been put out there to deceive the masses of the congregation of the dead, as the apostles, get into the study of words. That word masses, actually means, dead. So, without further ado, I'm going to play this clip.
Right. We can't go to see.
It's a beautiful sign.
That's God. That's Allah.
That's a beautiful sign.
Right. And this Ishmaelite here, came up to the camp, trying to talk shit or whatnot. And, we pretty much, brother Hardab, just brought out the precepts, going to the fact that, Israel was the ones that was counted for the seed through Isaac, not Ishmael, which was born of the bondwoman Hagar, and pretty much like, us out there laboring the faith, we get, people that come up, that to try to, contend against the words of the Lord, because they wish they had salvation, at the end of the day. But salvation is only given to you tribes, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American descent, and that's, what we push through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, because that's according to the truth of the Bible, and, these heathens, like these Edomites, Ishmaelites, all other nations outside of Israel, is going to be going into captivity, So, continuing.
And don't I'll answer your question, man. We gonna fuck you, man. You better hope you an Israelite, man. You better hope you an Israelite, man. You better hope you an Israelite, man.
No Israelite, man.
We gonna fuck them Arabs. We gonna run you on your little devil hair down. Slap you out. Hey, slap you. Hey, slap you.
Isaiah 34:16.
We gonna fuck them Arabs up, man.
The book of the Lord and read. Not one of these shall fail. Seek ye after
the Holy Scripture, Lord,
and
and read.
Ezekiel 23:20? No. This is Isaiah 34:16. Nigga, sir.
Get the little badass Jesus.
Bring up the Lord and read.
All you Arabs want is slavery.
Right.
You want is slavery.
Ishmaelites are going into slavery. Ishmaelites are going into slavery under Israelites. Ishmaelites are going into slavery under Israelites. And 16 Ishmaelites are going to slavery under Israelites. Ishmaelites are going into slavery. Allah ain't even saving your people right now. Why ain't you over there fighting against your fellow white man? This is Isaiah 34:16. That's kicking your people's ass. Why ain't you fighting against the white man that's kicking your people's ass?
Akim, shut down, Akim. Akim, shut down, Akim, real quick. Shut down, Akim.
Hold on, brother. Seek ye out the book of the Lord and read.
The book of the Lord is the holy book. Not no fucking Quran, not any other religious book.
No one of these shall fail.
How y'all doing, brother? How y'all doing, brothers?
Now one of these shall fail, meaning none of the prophecies that's been written in this book will fail at all. Every one of them is coming to pass.
None shall one make, for my mouth it hath commanded. and his spirit it hath gathered.
Right. And the Most High's word don't come out void. That means whenever he says something to come into pass, it's gonna happen.
That's right.
That's right. That's who them Arabs, man. It's like they include you fucking Arabs, man. All you heathens going to slavery. That's why that Ishmaelite up here, when he couldn't answer my question as far as what prophecy out of the Quran happened. He couldn't name not one prophecy. I still have yet to any of you Muslims or you Islamists or whoever to say any prophecy out of the Quran that actually came to pass.
Right.
Give
the scripture and
a detailed history. Can't do it from the past. You can't fucking do it.
Yeah, wait. This is Malachi.
And that's the point right there. You know, because first and foremost, the Quran is not an inspired work of the Heavenly Father, because Muhammad was not a prophet of the Most High, nor was given the ways of the Most High. You know, he copied after, you know, our traditions, you know, our customs of the Israelites, and wanted to conform the Ishmaelites into monotheism. Because when you do the history, you know, you can go to Babylon and Timbuktu and read up on it. And, you know, it pretty much points out that these Ishmaelites had different gods for 365 days of the year, you know. So, pretty much like, you know, our book is the only true book of prophecy, which is the Holy Bible, which is the Scriptures, which pertains the law, statutes, and commandments, the history of our nation, the prophecies concerning where our people will be at in the latter times, that's taking place as it is to this day right now. You know, and that's the only real book of prophecy that the Most High inspired through Yahweh Shai and through his servants, the prophets, over the course of time. So, just like the brother was reading, let me bring this precept out. This is Isaiah 34:16. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and read. No one of these shall fail, none shall want her mate. Meaning no other book can be mated with the Bible. For my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them. Alright? So, you know, the Most High commanded everything that was written aforetime, that was written for our learning, you know, to be manifested, you know, to basically be shown, you know, that this is his word, that he is magnifying, and that and all of the works declared therein that's taking place, you know. I mean, like for instance, you know, you got the RFID chip that's soon to be made manifest. You know, in Revelation the 13th chapter, you know, that's one of the main prophecies that we looking for, you know, as far as the ending of Esau's rulership. And that's another thing, you know, Esau being the so-called white man. I mean, pretty much like going back to the promise of our forefathers from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Isaac had blessed Jacob and Esau pertaining to prophetic blessings pertaining to those two nations. You know, Esau being a so-called white man, he was in rulership through the sword, and you know, just like, you know, the scriptures say, you know, after Esau is taken out of rulership, Jacob is going to rule. So I'm gonna read this, and I'm gonna go to another precept following this. This is 2nd Ezra 15:1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy. The word prophecy goes back to pro, meaning before, phesai, meaning to say or to speak, meaning to say before it happens, you know. And all of the words of the scriptures, you know, which have been written aforetime, is being made manifest, that everything written therein has came to pass and is going to come to pass. Alright? Which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. Which he's putting in whose mouth? The prophets, you know, the men out there laboring out there and rightly dividing the word of truth, you know, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. So the Most High caused these words to be written in paper so that we can have the records to this day. Fear not the imaginations against thee, and let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. And that's going to 2/3 of our people who don't want to get right, who don't want to acknowledge the signs of the times, which pretty much us being out there on the highways and edges, is declaring the signs of the times for our people to be warned and to come back to them, So going back to the point about, Jacob and Esau, which is one of the main prophecies of knowing that what the scriptures speak of holds true to this day, and that is manifested right before your eyes, Alright, this is 2nd Ezra 6 verse 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times, or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world. Alright, so Esau, can only fit being the so-called white man, because it's obvious that he's in rulership, and it's obvious to anyone with any common sense or some type of spiritual discernment to know that we're in the latter days, So, this prophecy is only fitting to the so-called white man being the end of the world, or the end of an age, because the word for, there's 3 words for world in the scriptures. You got cosmos, which is a secular order or arrangement that's spoken of in John 3:16, talking about the world of the Israelites, not the entire world. Then you got oikumene, which is the whole inhabited earth. And then you have aeon, which means the age or rulership. Alright? And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And who is Jacob? Israel. You tribes, you 12 tribes, So our rulership is the beginning of it that followeth, which is another prophecy, according to the scriptures, that's getting ready to take place, which the Quran doesn't testify of, or it testifies that the Israelites is a chosen of the Most High. And really, you can just, after that, you can just toss the Quran after that, So, this is Habakkuk 2:1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Right, because that appointed time is right now. Pretty much, when we put up these lessons and these shows, especially pertaining to current events, about World War III taking place, that's direct prophecy right there. That's why Apostle Tahar, through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, marked 2018 as the year of prophecy. Because a lot of things is about to get ready to take place that marks the end of this age and our coming salvation. Okay? Alright, this is Jeremiah 28 verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. And going towards Romans the 8th chapter, the spirit of the prophets is subject to the prophets. So just like back then, the thing that have been is that which shall be. So just like the prophets was on the scene then, correcting Israel for when they go off, and telling our people the Lord's judgments that's about to get ready to take place, us, the hopeful men of the Lord, is coming back in that same lot right now, fulfilling prophecy. We prophesying the downfall of Babylon the Great, which is America. As far as our salvation, we telling our people that World War III is about to get ready to take place. and the time of evils in the earth being multiplied above any other time on the earth, you know. And no other book of prophecy is declaring that, or they can't bring any word of prophecy out of these other books that I mentioned, that can declare these things, you know. The prophet which prophesieth of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that the Lord Yahweh hath truly sent him. And we're not in the time of peace, We're in the time of war, we're in the time of, great evils being multiplied on the earth, because pretty much to bring this power structure of Esau out of rulership, these things have to come to pass. In order for the elect to be delivered up out of here. Alright, this is Isaiah 55 verse 10. For as the rain cometh down, and the snow from heaven, and returneth not thither, but watereth the earth, and maketh it bring forth a bud, that it may give seed to the sower, and bread to the eater. Alright, so just as the Most High sends the rain to water the earth, alright, okay, to yield crops and things of that nature, to bring abundance of food in the earth, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. So whatever the Most High declares in the heavens, it shall be done here in the earth. Because the Most High Yahweh is the only real power who judgeth in the universe. All right, and whatever He says happens. I mean, what's another example to name off, pertaining to prophecy, is the basics, as far as Deuteronomy the 28th chapter, going towards the blessings and the curses that came upon our people. We were driven forth from our land. We were scattered in all nations. We were brought into captivity by way of slave ships, all prophesied in Deuteronomy the 28th chapter. Which the scriptures is clearly make evident, that which makes it manifest that we are the Most High's chosen, we are the Israelites, and that there's really no other book to really have your faith or your hope in at all. This is Revelations 1 and 3. Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. And this was written by John the Revelator on the island of Patmos. When he was receiving this vision through Yahushua, speaking unto him. And one thing, where it says, thou shalt prophesy again before other nations. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and get that precept as well. Just to further prove the point. And that's why, us as members of the hopeful elect, we been blessed with this truth, and we keep the things that are written therein. That's why Yahushua said, that which ye have, hold fast till I come. So that way we can keep confessing His word, unto the end, as far as our salvation, As a matter of fact, Spirit had me stop here. This is Revelations 5 and 1. And I saw in the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written within, and on the backside sealed with 7 seals. And I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, Who is worthy to open the book and to loose the seals thereof? And no man in heaven, nor in earth, neither under the earth, was able to open the book, neither to look thereon. So pretty much, basically the mysteries of this book would still be sealed had, pretty much as the scripture is about to get into, it wasn't for Yahweh Shai, And I wept much because no man was found worthy to open and to read the book, neither to look thereon. And one of the elders saith unto me, Weep not, behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the tribe of Yahweh, the root of David, hath prevailed to open the book, and to loose the 7 seals thereof. Alright, so, Salakia. And I beheld, and lo, in the midst of the throne, and of the 4 beasts, and in the midst of the elders, stood a lamb, as it had been slain, having 7 horns. Salakia. Having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of the Most High sent forth into all the earth. Alright, so without Yahweh Shai, that's the reason. That's the reason. Because of Yahweh Shai, is the reason why, the hopeful members of the hopeful elect is able to bring forth the mysteries proclaimed in his book. But going back to the point, I was talking about as far as John the Revelator, and just get that precept. Salakia, just bear with me for one moment. Alright. This is Revelations 10 and 9. And I went unto the angel and said unto him, Give me the little book. And he said unto me, Take it and eat it up, and it shall make thy belly bitter, and it shall be in thy mouth sweet as honey. Alright, because pretty much, when we partake of this truth, the truth is, sweet and savory at the beginning, but when you delve further into this truth, and your knowledge, wisdom, and understanding increase, this truth becomes bitter. As far as being in this current age and this current captivity, because we hope to see the judgment of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai exercised in the earth, That's the reason why, we lift up our prayers every day, in hopes of our salvation, and in hopes that, the Most High, avenge us, So, continuing on, and I took the little book out of the angel's head, and ate it up, and it was in my mouth sweet as honey, and as soon as I had eaten it, my belly was bitter. And he said unto me, Thou must prophesy again before many peoples and nations and tongues and kings. Now, this was written around 90 AD when John the Revelator was on the island of Patmos. So going back, and this was the last book of the scriptures right here. So how is that going to take place? If he died on the island of Patmos? That's talking about right now. which as I said before, the spirit of the prophets is subject to the prophets, you know. This is Revelations 19:10. And I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, See thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant, and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushai. Worship the Most High, for the testimony of Yahushai is the spirit of prophecy. And us who receive this knowledge through Yahushai, you know, hold the spirit of prophecy, you know. So with that, you know, I hope you Akim was out there edified, you know. And with that, I say shalom.